Basically with the fire, last night it laid down. We didn't have a lot of growth last night. We did do they were able to do an infrared flyover yesterday, and they got an estimate on the acres of 230 acres. And like I said, that's kind of what we were estimating yesterday, so we really didn't have any growth last night. We've got zero containment at this time. And I don't know, I'm sure you guys have looked at the mountains behind us, Bear Peak. You can see what the terrain is like. It's very rugged. It's just on the other side of the peak. You saw some flare-ups over the night. You could see the fire kind of bopping along the ridge there. Like I said, the terrain is very rough, and one of the problems we're having is trying to get crews into that. So what they're planning today is it's mostly going to be air attack. And when I say air attack, they're planning on starting about 8 o'clock this morning. They're going to have 7 aircraft involved. 5 of those aircraft are actually the tankers. There's other 2 aircraft that I sometimes talk about. They have an air attack plane that stays in the area and kind of guides the tankers in, tells them where to drop. They then have a lead plane. And what the lead plane does, it leads the air tankers in and shows them, the air tankers follow them in where to drop. And basically the type of aircraft we have involved, we're going to have just like yesterday afternoon. We've got 2 Type 1 air tankers, and those are the larger air tankers. Yesterday one of them was a C-130. I'm sure you saw those flying through there. We have 2 Type 1 helicopters. Again, those are the larger helicopters. A lot of times you see the hose dangling down from them. They go into the ponds, the lakes, so forth, pick up water, and then go do the airdrops. And then we have a Type 3 helicopter. A lot of times that's the bucket helicopter. So you'll see those flying around. We also have 2 hand crews that are going to be working the fire. They're going to be working on the southwest side, so kind of the back side of the mountain. And what they're going to be doing is building fire lines in that area. Currently, we have 32 agencies involved. We have approximately 250 personnel. And so right now, that's kind of the facts that I have regarding the fire.
On Bear Peak. We believe it started from a lightning strike. We received a number of calls in our dispatch center yesterday, between 5 and 10 calls of people reporting lightning strikes around the area. So while it hasn't been confirmed, we do think that there's a very good possibility that this fire is lightning caused. The city and county work together. The possibility is that this becomes a city issue today. There are residential neighborhoods over there on that west side of town, and NCAR is over there as well. NCAR has a lot of defensible space around it, so if the fire travels down the mountain, there is a really good chance that firefighters would be able to create some containment because NCAR has done so much mitigation. Now, as Rick said, we're going to be working on certain areas of the fire line, trying to lay down some defensible space. The fire's burning the hottest right now on the northern side, and so that's where the hot spots are. But it's also been traveling east, and if it travels east, that's when it travels into town and sort of into NCAR and hits those neighborhoods. In Boulder, we are going to have 2 structure protection groups, divisions, that are on standby. One is going to be based up on Flagstaff to be ready for those communities if the fire turns around or heads into those areas. And we'll have another one that is stationed basically out by NCAR for those neighborhoods like Highland Park, Devil's Thumb, and Shanahan Ridge. So we are not in any evacuations right now. We were on pre-evacuations last night. We remain on pre-evacuation in those neighborhoods. That's where the biggest concern is if the fire comes over the ridge and into the city. The fire did jump the ridge a little bit last night. It didn't grow large, but there were some visible hot spots over the ridge. We are very concerned about the weather today. We're expecting some thunderstorms. The thunderstorms bring winds. Winds bring dangerous conditions for our pilots, and so it's possible that if we get some thunderstorms and windy conditions, that may impact our air attack. That is not really any closer than it was yesterday, and it's still basically at the top of that ridge. Our focus is going to be on reinforcing defensible space on the west end of town, protecting structures if the fire comes down the hill, and obviously our focus will be public safety. Speaking to public safety, if an evacuation order goes out, we are asking people to evacuate right away. If people feel that they're in danger, the best thing to do is to get rid of the risk and leave. If you're not sure, if you sense that you're in danger, if you see fire and you're concerned about it, the best advice is to go ahead and get out of your neighborhood. And hopefully people have been preparing since last night, have gathered their things. that can't be replaced, like photographs, papers, their animals, etc. So that's what I have, and if you have any questions, we'll take some questions.
Let me talk about road closures real fast and the county evacuations. Nothing has changed with evacuations from last night. We've evacuated approximately 28 homes on Flagstaff and Bison Road. So right now the areas that are evacuated are the 4500 block to 6000 block of Flagstaff and the 800 block to the 5100 block of Bison Road. Currently we do have a road closure down at the base of Flagstaff. It's 6th and Baseline. It's a soft closure. We're allowing residents in. They need to have identification, to show identification so they can get in. And then we also have another road closure up top of the mountain. So people can still get into the area, but they do have to have identification to get in.